This is KUGAN CASSIUS for Rifle TV in association with MTK Global. We're in Las Vegas for a huge fight week here, Mayweather versus McGregor. I'm joined by Adam Smith from Sky Sports. How are you, Adam?
Good, KUGAN. How are you?
All
enjoying
good,
the week?
Good.
Enjoying the circus?
It is a circus, yeah. It's been good. It's been good. It's been
different.
Different, yeah. Just kind of a one-off event, I think we can put it down to. So.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Boxing and UFC working side by side, and yeah, I think it's just been something novel. Listen, this is the city for entertainment, and ultimately that's what we're going to get on Saturday night, aren't we? We're going to get the two kingpins of their different codes coming together in a one-off. Is it a one-off? Probably. Will we all go back on Sunday to our normal lives? I tell you what, though, I'm really looking forward to it, because I think the unknown is what's fascinating, the intrigue about this one.
Obviously, everyone's got their mixed opinion about not the fight as much happening, but the competitiveness of the fight and whether it will be or not. So, I mean, from your point of view, how do you sort of plug a fight? I know it sold itself, but how do you plug a fight that so many people do not give Conor McGregor a chance in?
But so many people want to watch what happens. See, that's the difference with this. As I said, it is an entertainment business we're in. Is it a 50-50 fight like Golovkin and Alvarez? Of course it isn't. You know, is that something that us, the boxing purists, really want to see in September? We do. It's a fantastic fight. Would we have liked to have seen AJ and Vladimir Klitschko here in November? Of course, but Vladimir rather made the right decision, I think, to retire, to call it a day after the gallant and heroic loss at Wembley. So we don't get to see that fight, and we move on with AJ and Kubrat Pulev. But this is different, and I think that's the key with this. This is a fusion of combat sports that we haven't seen before. You've got Floyd Mayweather, who's looking for his 50-0 record, which I believe he came into boxing to get that record, or certainly in the last few years he wanted that. And when he said, "Oh, I'm retiring," you know, before, during, after Pacquiao and Berto, and I never bought it. I always thought that Floyd Mayweather never came into the sport to equal records. He wants to beat it. He wants 50-0. He wants the TBE level. He wants to be known as the best ever. Whether he is or not is obviously very much subject to debate. I think he is the best we've had in our generation, certainly since Sugar Ray Leonard to lace them up. He's the most impressive fighter I've seen in the gym and live in the ring, up close, commentating on. And I think Mayweather's been outstanding. The only question here, and it's a very small question, is whether the 2 years of inactivity and the age of 40 have in any way dampened those skills. I haven't seen any sign of decline so far with Mayweather. He's a consummate professional, hard work, dedication. He's always in shape, and I believe he will be on Saturday night, and I believe that he will not allow himself to lose this fight. Having said that, it is the unknown. You never know. And with Conor McGregor, because so many of the Irish and so many of the UFC fans believe that he is this monster, that he can upset somebody in a totally different world, really, it makes for everybody wanting to watch the fight, to see what happens. Has it been difficult to promote? No, it's been fun, because it's something new. But for the boxing purists, I can understand the frustration of, you know, will there be a competitive level fight? You know, would Conor McGregor beat now his arch rival Paulie Malignaggi? Would he beat a British champion, someone like an Ashley Theophane? Would he do that in the ring? And he put him in with a guy that's a 5-weight world champion who's never lost as a pro and was robbed of gold in Atlanta. I mean, it looks ludicrous. But you know what? Conor McGregor is crazy. He's a mad personality. He's been fantastic to be around. Yes, some of the stuff has been below the belt in the press tour, but they've cleaned it up, and I think that it's been quite a subdued week actually here. You know, it's dawning on them. It's serious business Saturday night. Yes, there's a hell of a lot of money involved, but it's serious business. Conor's got a huge ego, massive pride on the line. He doesn't want to let himself down. Floyd cannot allow himself to be beaten by Conor McGregor. So that's what the intrigue is, how it's going to unfold. I think most of us feel we know the result of the fight.
Just how to get there.
It's how it gets there.
I'm going to quote Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn said 3 months ago Ted Cheeseman would beat Conor McGregor.
Well, Ted Cheeseman probably would agree with that. I'd have thought. And he's doing very well, by the way, Ted Cheeseman.
We love Ted Cheeseman, by the way. But he used that as a kind of a yardstick to where Ted Cheeseman is, rather than as a level.
Yeah.
But
it's what I was saying. It's would he beat a British champion or an area champion? You just don't know, because this is him going as a boxing novice into a whole new domain. Would Floyd Mayweather have a chance in the octagon? Absolutely not. Would Floyd Mayweather have a chance in a street fight against Conor McGregor? Absolutely not. Does Conor McGregor have any chance against Floyd Mayweather in the squared circle? The place that Mayweather has been at home in since he was a young kid. It's unlikely, but we've seen in Vegas crazy things happen. It's been a crazy week weather-wise, hasn't it? We've had the lightning, we've had the bright sunshine. Maybe there's an omen that something bizarre is going to happen on Saturday night. We've had the fan man, crash into Bo Holyfield too. We've had the ear bite of Mike Tyson. We've had Oliver McCall in tears. We've had Frank Bruno crossing himself 15 times before he fought Tyson. We've had endless things. Just the other week, Rigondo, the controversy at the end of that. I mean, Vegas is a strange place. Strange things happen here. But I think one of the strangest ever would be if Conor McGregor can somehow defeat Floyd Mayweather. But we wait and see. You never know.
When you look, I'm going to use Amir Khan as an example here. Amir Khan, as we know, chased the fight with Floyd Mayweather for 18 months, 2 years, didn't get the fight. So we've got a guy for his 50th fight, the big 50 fight, from another sport that comes in. So pretty much it's down to the name and Conor McGregor's mouth that has got him this fight.
Yes, and also it's down to Floyd Mayweather's business team and acumen to get this one as the 50-0. And I think, to be honest, whether Amir Khan would have had a chance against Mayweather, maybe for a few rounds you'd have said maybe what happened against Canelo, maybe Mayweather would have just been too good for him. You don't know. It's not going to happen. I think that they were running out of options, and obviously they want to make the 50-0 a massive pay-per-view fight, and I think that they had to do something different, and that's why Conor McGregor came into it. And for those of us in boxing who obviously have heard of Conor McGregor and had seen some bits of the UFC and some bits of his extraordinary personality, I think we didn't know enough, and now we do know quite what he brings to the party. I mean, he's really made this an event. He's made this as an attraction. He's the one that went up to the fans on Tuesday. He's the one that the Irish are all here to see. He's the hope of the UFC, and I think that's important. It reminds me a little bit of what Prince Nassim Hamid did, back in the day. He's been great fun to interview. He's witty. He's bright. He's quick. He's full of ego and confidence, and braggadocious. I think he's great, Conor. But do I think he wins the fight? I mean, do you?
I don't believe. No, I don't believe he'll win the fight.
No.
It would have to be.
But you're interested in finding out how it will unfold.
Yeah, of course. But I think it will be kind of not a freak of nature kind of thing, but just some sort of that sort of magnitude. You understand what I'm saying?
Or could something strange happen? I know he's got the penalties in the purse, that if he does something, if there's a kick or whatever, but what happens if he roughs him up and there's rabbit punches, there's low blows, I don't know, which we've seen in boxing that would disqualify him. There could be something strange that happens. Mayweather could get cut, Mayweather could get roughed up, and will he slip? Concentration. I mean, I can't really see it, but I'm not making this out to be, this is how Conor McGregor wins the fight. For me, it is a night that will be remembered when two codes have come together, and we've seen two massive personalities and two kings of their own world in this sort of strange occurrence, and one that we're never going to forget. I hope that Conor comes out of it with huge credit. I hope that he really gives it a massive go, which I think he will. And I hope that Floyd, for the good of boxing, can cement his legacy, because it will be, almost tragic, wouldn't it, for after 21 years in the sport, if he suddenly blew it all to, the king of the UFC, when he's beaten the likes of Diego Corrales and Juan Manuel Marquez and Miguel Cotto and Shane Mosley and Manny Pacquiao and Canelo Alvarez and those guys, to suddenly have someone come in who is brilliant in his own world, but unproven totally in this, and upset the Mayweather story. But that's why everyone's waiting to find out.
What have you made of the whole Paulie Malignaggi situation? I know Paulie's been working with Sky this week, and so he's spoken to him about that. But also, why do you think Malignaggi was picked as kind of the named sparring partner? Everyone's got their own, obviously, opinion about that. But for someone who's not an active fighter, and hasn't obviously fought since he lost to Sam Egginton, why, in your opinion, did Conor McGregor get Malignaggi into sparring?
Well, should Conor McGregor have got the most skillful Mayweather-like fighters into his camp, you know, you're looking at the likes of, I don't know, Crawford and Lomachenko, those type of guys, you know, Jorge Linares, I don't know, really talented, quick fighters. No one quite like Mayweather, but would you go for that? He seems to have had his own sparring partners that he's chosen. Everything has been very much conducted under his terms with his team. I think Paulie, you know, went on record as saying this is a circus act or
But he thinks there's a hidden agenda to them having him for sparring. He's saying that, you know, he thinks there's ulterior motives to why he was there, and everything was kind of contrived from the pictures went out, the 30 seconds of footage, etc.
I actually think maybe it was that Paulie, you know, was just so dismissive of the fight, and he's the commentator for Showtime who's going to be calling it. You know, maybe they thought, get him in, let's show him what we can do. And I think the first spar went okay, as far as Paulie's told me. I think the problem came when he went back after the Brenner Garcia fight, and I think he was expecting to do 8-10 rounds and went 12 rounds, and I think there was a lot of people in the gym that day, and then obviously the pictures went out, and you know, the knockdown, the no knockdown. I think that he felt that they were trying to embarrass him, and you know, Paulie's got pride still. He's a, you know, you hear him all the time. He's a brilliant analyst and commentator. He's very open with his opinion, and I think that, you know, he feels this week, he feels hurt. He feels, you know, angry with Conor. I think he wants to take Conor on next year at the Barclays Centre on St Patrick's Day, and who knows, if Conor puts up a decent enough performance on Saturday night, something like that may or may not happen. But you know, Paulie, it's a bit of a sideshow this week, but you know, I think his pride was dented, and I think that he felt that he was badly treated by Team McGregor. We weren't there, so we can't really comment on that. But as far as us being around Conor as the media, we've had a great time with him. He's been nothing but hysterically funny and brilliant to work with.
Just finally, obviously, back at home, we managed to obviously secure this pay-per-view at $19.99. There was a lot of speculation about how much UK fans would have to pay. Obviously, they're paying a lot more money here in the US, but was it a case of it had to be that price, or you wouldn't have done it? What's the most you would have gone to?
I think it's the right price.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, I think the key is that we want to give value to our box office customers each and every time, and I think that you know, we don't have any control over what they price fights over here in America. It's a different model, it's a different market. But back home, the key is not to keep doing too many all the time. We will obviously have a huge amount of stuff on Sky Sports, you know, from Next Gen to international fights coming up. We've got Luke Campbell's challenge of Jorge Linares. We've got the big shows in Liverpool, in Manchester. There's much for the Sky Sports viewer, but obviously box office events have to be special, and I think this is special. Whether you love it or hate it, you're going to watch it, and I think that's the key to it. We love putting our efforts into trying to make it the most exciting, entertaining, informative build-up we can possibly do, which is why we brought Dan Hardy in, which is why we changed the script here this time. Dan and Carl and I are calling the fights on the night. We felt it was important to bring someone in from the UFC world, so we can learn from that, and we can learn more about Conor. And you know, that's what we try and do each and every time is on Sky Sports News, skysports.com, is tell the story, give the narrative. You know, the event was always going to happen, but it is, you know, it may not be the 50-50 fight that AJ Klitschko was, as I said, or Bellew Hay, or as we're not doing Golovkin and Alvarez, but that terrific fight, which is, you know, 50-50. You know, I swing one way and the other about who's going to win that. This isn't that sort of a fight. This is an event a one-off attraction, something we never thought was possible, and we're all fascinated to see, not to see what the outcome is, to find out how the outcome happens and what actually goes on for that 10 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes, however long we get on Saturday night at the T-Mobile, because no one can predict exactly how it's going to unfold. And I think that's always the fascination. Listen, Mayweather, enormous in boxing. McGregor, enormous in UFC. Huge interest in this fight, and that is why we're here.
Just a final quick one. Obviously, talking to Eddie Hearn, he said, you know, we're going to have another 40 years out, 3 pay-per-views. Obviously, this is the first one. Joshua's the second one.
What did he say?
Another 3 more pay-per-views.
This year?
Yeah.
Did he?
Including the one you're doing this week.
Okay. Good. Is that what you said?
I think so.
Love the fact he tells you, no. It's, as in, we're talking this one.
This one, Joshua.
AJ, and then...
Well, I was going to ask, what in an ideal world, is it the Hay-Bellew rematch?
I want to see it. Do you?
Yeah, 100%.
I want to see it. Of course I want to see it.
But it will involve Tony Bellew, that's what I'm assuming that...
Yeah, I think that's, you know, we didn't get the AJ-WK rematch, which... we all wanted to see, the fans would have loved to have seen. As I said, I think Vladimir made the right decision to retire, and we wish him well. We're not going to get that. I love a rematch, especially when the first fight has been controversial or brilliant, or, you know, I'd love to see Dylan White and Derek Chisorian again, and I keep asking Eddie about that one. And Derek keeps asking me why that's not happening, and I keep asking Dylan. But there we go, I'd love to see that again. I'd love to see Hay and Bellew again. You know, let's see what Hay's like. Will his body hold up? If his body holds up, will the result be different? It's a fascinating one, and I know Tony Bellew had options. I think that they were talking Andre Ward, or, you know, shot at Joe Parker or others, but I think
Michael Bisping.
Yeah, but I think you know, David Hayes, the one that makes sense. And so let's get a huge rematch on at the end of the year. That would be fantastic. And you know, Joshua obviously goes from strength to strength. It was a terrific, amazing, unforgettable night at Wembley, which will stand alone as the boxing event of the year if this stands as the sort of sporting occasion. That was unbelievable, and in many ways it's good that a rematch hasn't happened, so that can stand alone, and it wouldn't have been disappointed by a second one that maybe didn't live up to it. I think that can stand as one of the great nights that we've had in British boxing. AJ and Klitschko, and they both came out with so much credit, and AJ would have learnt from that fight. I'm looking forward to him taking on whoever they put in front of him, whether it's Pulev, Ortiz, Wilder, and building the Anthony Joshua story. Because I really believe in the next 2 or 3 years he's going to become, if he's not a superstar or an enormous attraction already, he's going to become even bigger. He's going to be global. Love to have him fight here. I think he ticks all the boxes. I think he's absolutely sensational, especially as an athlete and a person, as much as you know, a thrilling heavyweight fighter.
Adam Smith, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV, and said nearing now, weighing obviously tomorrow. Yeah,
should be good, shouldn't it, with the Irish fans out in their droves. And listen, we're going to get a wonderful weekend of entertainment, and then we're going to get a fantastic next 4 months of boxing. So much going on, isn't there?
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your time, Adam.
Cheers, KUGAN.
Cheers, mate.